So like today's video, we're going to try and get the gearbox and the prop shaft back in the car. I've got to put the mount on here properly and this plate, so I'll do that now. You probably saw in the other video what state the old gearbox mount was on so I've obviously got a new one, but to put it on it's not that easy, so I think I'm going to have to put the mount on and the supporting plate, and then put the gearbox back in with all that on. And also I've got to get the prop shaft onto here, and because of the length of the gearbox and then the depth it goes down the transmission tunnel, there's no way you can do the bolts up on the prop shaft once the gearbox is in. So what I'm hoping to do is to attach the prop shaft to here and then feed the whole lot down back into the car. The other problem is this, as you can see, if you would do it up from underneath the car, you've got to sort of slide this in sideways, and then you've got to get the bolts in for this plate, which is not at all easy. So let's put this on first, because this thing gets in the way of the reverse switch, which is round here. And you've got to do this nut up before you can put this on. It's got to go on that way. And there's no hole or anything in the bottom here to get to there, so that's obviously going to go on. That's got to go on first. There's a spring washer on here, so I don't need to do it up too tight, and it's also obviously into aluminium casting. That should be good enough. Alright, now to try and get this on again. There's no access here, this is all blocked off, so there are holes in the bottom. I can't remember which way this went, whether the nuts went down or up. I think the bolts went up and the nuts went on top, like that. But again, when this is in the car, it's impossible to get to the nuts on here. So let's put these on. Well, I've changed my mind. I'm going to put the bolts down, I think, rather than like that one up, because should the nut come off, very unlikely. At least the bolt, or it loosens the bolt, makes the bolt will drip out. See if I can balance all this lot on here. Yep, that's on. You can see the problem here, even this spanner getting on this head, it's only half on the nut here, so under the car this is just also impossible to get off. So I think whenever you change one of these mounts, you've got to have to hold the engine and the gearbox out. Not the best of designs. It's a bit easier this side because there's a hole in the end here, so let's see if I can get it on my fingers. Let's start that. Well, there's the new prop shaft ready to go in. The idea is that I'll put this rope down through the transmission tunnel, because there's several obstacles down there which the end of the prop shaft's got to get over. As I said before, I've got to bolt this end to the gearbox, sort of down in here somewhere, as it goes down, because you can't get to it when it's in the transmission tunnel. So I'm hoping this rope, I can use this to sort of, well, at least put some pressure on it and then leach through and perhaps lift it a bit this end and then lift it back the other end from the diff side. There's a hole down by the in the chassis by the diff, should be able to put my hand through there and lift it over the sort of the hurdles at the bottom there. The gearbox is up on the stand. I've tried to strop it so that I can adjust it. Use these tie wraps, those tie down straps, so I can adjust them. I need to get this at some sort of angle into the engine bay. So anyway, here we go. Well, the prop shaft lifted up okay, and I've now bolted it up, tightened it all up. The rope worked, pulling the shaft down the end. It's not too much of a problem now, so next thing to do is get the gearbox in position. I need to put the trolley jack underneath and take it from there. Well, I can feel it's up against the, it's hitting something at the back there, so I need to see if I can release that. It's going lined on the car at the back. Well, it's stuck on the, there's a sort of a bar that goes across the middle of the transmission tunnel. It's stuck on that at the moment, so I'm going to have to try and lift it from inside the engine bay. So, see how that goes. Trouble is, actually I'm going to try from underneath. Yeah, that's released it. Well, I think it's time for the trolley jack because I've run out of reach on the crane, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this. Well, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but I've got the trolley jack under the end of the gearbox. There's a bit of wood on top of the trolley jack thing, it's only just touching. So I'm now going to try and move the straps around and see if I can get a bit more angle on the gearbox and then push the whole thing back, because I've got to disconnect the hoist because I've run out of reach on the hoist. Yeah, you can just see the jack there and then a bit of wood on it, and the straps all around the actual gearbox. I need to now move them perhaps to the front of the bell housing just to support it, take the weight. I hope I can roll the whole bit back, but I've run out of travel here, so I can't really just slide it back in with the hoist. The other thing I'll also forget is to connect up the reverse light switch and the speedo drive. Something to put under there. That's the gearbox sitting down on that. Wobbly, wobbly. Let's take this one off. Put a couple of M8s in there just to give me something that I can strap round. There we go. Right. Right, that's cleared the front member. That's pretty good. I'm going to have a look down the back, see what's happening with the prop shaft at the diff end. Well, you can see the flange on the end of the diff, and there's a hole in the chassis here. And there's my rope. Yeah, it's working. And I can hold the camera and put my hand in here. Now I can't. I have to put the camera down. Yeah, well, I've put my hand through this hole, and the end of the prop shaft is right, just right there, so it's not snagging on anything. There's another bar across the chassis, just as it leaves, as the prop shaft will leave the chassis. There's an obstruction there, so I may have to come back and get it from up in here. I think the thing to do is go and shove the gearbox and engine in a bit more. Alright, let's see if we can sort out the speedo drive first. So that's it. That should be tight enough. And then the last thing is I've got to do the reversing light switch. The wires are there. I'll have to put the camera down to do that. Well, that's those done. Just make sure they're not get too snagged up when I put this through. Okay, let's see if we can push the gearbox in now. placing the jack underneath the actual gearbox rather than the plates mounting it. And I think I just need to take all these straps off or loosen them off. I won't take them off completely just in case something happens. Let's just pull that one off a bit tighter. Yeah, and I think I need to go down the back now. I've jammed a bit of wood in that hole. It's raised the shaft up a bit. Hopefully that will do the trick. Have to wait and see. A bit further in, not much. Move the jack under the, let's move backwards. Move my jack. Well, I've jacked it up so that the plate that bolts the chassis is just underneath the chassis, so it's a bit more aligned. There we go, look at that, straight in, fantastic. Bingo, job done. Need to bolt the bottom plate to the chassis now. Surprisingly enough, got the first nut in, bolt in very easily. It's sort of lined up, and hopefully the next one's going to go in the same. And then I can use the jack the other side to help the alignment. I won't do them all the way up until I've got the other side on as well, just as at least a little bit of movement, if in case there's a alignment problem on the other side. Right, let's go. Well, these are going on alright, this lined up. Remarkably easy, really. Right, that's it done. And the gearbox is just sitting up on that piece of wood, ready for when they put the engine in. You have to support that once I do the engine, not quite sure how to do that. I'll just put a jack under the box, probably, gearbox. So all I've got to do now is bolt the other end of the prop shaft to the diff. I'm going to do that temporarily, so I might have the diff out when I sort out the back end. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please hit the like button and of course comment, but most of all subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.